Hello and welcome to another episode of Lost in the Dark podcast. My name is Burton the Wrathchild, and it's another solo venture tonight. That hopefully to change soon. A friend of mine, who is a part of the metal community, has reached out to me in response to the recent news of the slight possibility of the Rockstar Energy Drink Mayhem Festival returning. Because there was some news recently where the founder of the festival or whatever made like a Facebook post or a tweet or something saying like who would like to see it come back, and it probably, I would imagine it got an overwhelming response because we've had literally nothing to replace it. Like there are no longer any heavy metal touring festivals, so it would be cool to see that. So I had a friend reach out and made a post about it. I had a friend reach out saying he would like to come on and talk about that sometime soon, so hopefully we'll get that going. Hopefully we'll get Aaron back in here, my co-host, sometime before the end of the week. Shout out to him. Yesterday was his birthday, so everyone wish a giant happy birthday to Aaron from Bog Wraith and Lost in the Dark. Huge shout out, happy birthday, brother. Absolutely. But to get into it, let's just dive right in. I got some things to talk about. So Lamb of God just released their 15th anniversary Ashes of the Wake, which is cool. Sadly, they didn't release any of it on CD, as far as I can tell. It's all just digital and like vinyl. Kind of a bummer. But on the one hand, on the other hand, it is cool because they did release one song with it. I think just one, maybe two songs, but that were previously unreleased, at least on the American version. One of the songs was released on the Japanese version back when it was originally released back in the day. I remember because I had to dig to find those like 10 years ago. And a fun fact, I just wanted to mention that I remember, like, not a lot of people I'm not sure how many people remember this, but Lamb of God actually did a song for the Iron Man 2 video game. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Condemn the Hive. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I believe it was a song called Condemn the Hive. And it's a fucking awesome song. If you've never heard it, look it up. It's fucking fantastic. But yeah, I just thought it was cool, Lamb of God, 15th anniversary, Avengers coming out, and they are connected, as most things are, to the Avengers and Marvel. Also, my copy of Berserker by Amon Amarth came today, got released last Friday. Very excited to finally give it a top-to-bottom proper listen. Hopefully I'll have a review out here for you here in the next week or so. As you know, if you watched my Children of Bodom Hexed review, I like to spend some time with the album before, really like get into it, not just give it a quick listen and then do a full review. So yeah, hopefully that'll be coming soon. I'm very excited. What I've heard of it so far, I fucking love. Tell me what you think. How have they done? But yeah, even fucking Banger TV liked it, so that's pretty cool. Now on to real quick, I just wanted to talk about a couple of movies actually that I've watched in the past couple days. I watched that new Ted Bundy movie on Netflix, extremely wicked, shockingly evil and vile, I think is what it's called. So it's Zac Efron. But tie-in to heavy metal, James Hetfield is in it. He plays a police officer. And frankly, he was a highlight. He did a really great job. He looked and sounded the part superb. And it was, I was hoping he'd be in more of it. He was only in it for a brief moment, and I was really hoping for more. I thought he did a really good job. I thought it was cool to see him in there. Kind of funny. And they even used a Metallica song somewhere in the movie, I remember. But, the fact that it's about Ted Bundy, and when you read the title, you go in thinking, oh, this is going to be a brutal fucking movie. It is not that at all. It never shows him actually killing anybody, actually. It's really weird. It's kind of, I don't know. It's way more tame than I thought it would be. They tried to show like him through his wife's eyes and show the part of him that actually thought he wasn't a psychopath, in a sense. Like, the narrative was strange. There wasn't really any like hardly. I don't understand why it had. I think it had like an R rating. I don't understand that, because it really had no, like, it said there was like sexuality, nudity, language, and violence. There was one time they said fuck, and that was it. And it was kind of weird, because at that point, not a lot of people had been swearing at all, and so it's kind of stood out. It was a little out of character, it felt like. The only nudity is Zac Efron's booty. So that's all of that. And violence, like, a little tiny bit of violence. Like, one time you do see him hit someone in the head with like a tire iron, but it doesn't kill him. It just kind of like spurts little blood, and that's it. Like, it wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the rating was weird, and I thought it was an unusually tame portrayal of that story. Having said that, was it entertaining? Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of actors in it that I liked a lot from other stuff, like the guy that played Michael Weston in Burn Notice, and the kid from The Sixth Sense, who's also in a ton of other stuff, like Future Man and Tusk, and tons of other stuff. He's really good. And oh yeah, Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. I liked him as a lawyer at the end. He did a good job. So lots of like other actors. James Hetfield as a cop. Lots of stuff like that I enjoyed. The acting was good. The writing was good. I just thought the story and the narrative overall was a little strange and tame, considering the title of the film and that it's about one of America's most notorious serial killers. But I mean, if you're bored, check it out. It's not too bad. I definitely liked the documentary on Netflix a lot more about it, but it was pretty good. The next thing I want to talk about is a new documentary that just came out. I've actually been following the making of this documentary since I found out about it about 2-3 years ago. It's a documentary about the book series Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. One of my favorite book series is from when I was a kid. And that artwork. If you know the book series I'm talking about, you know the artwork I'm talking about. And if you don't, Google it, because it is, especially if you like metal and you've never heard of that, check that shit out, because it is some of the most brutal fucking artwork. It's a lot of artwork on metal albums is somewhat you can see having drawn some influence probably from that artwork. It was fantastic. But the books are great. The stories are awesome. And I've been waiting for this documentary to come out for a while, and I just watched it. And it was good. I definitely recommend it. I know that the Guillermo del Toro movie's coming out in September. I'm definitely going to see that. But this is an actual documentary, a look behind those books and into those books and the author and stuff like that. So judging it on the level of like if I had a checkbox of things that were like standard filmmaking, I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, so like if I were judging it based on like quality, I guess, of actual like okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is the movie felt somewhat amateur in the sense that they reused a lot of stuff. Like they showed like clips like a bunch, like more than once, and like kind of extended clips, and I was like, why are we showing this again? And like some of the like animations they had for in between scenes, like like went on long, and sometimes you felt like went on a little too long, and like people would start talking, you would feel like it should have switched already, but it did. I don't know, just like weird little like stuff like that. There was quite a bit of that, but there was good content. There was definitely good content in there. There was a lot of the story that I didn't know about. I didn't know that those books were treated. See, for a metalhead, this was something we've seen many times before. Those books were essentially treated like the Filthy 15 list, though. People were trying to ban them. People were trying to censor them. They said they were disgusting, Satanist, demonic, all the same things said about, heavy metal that we've all heard before, if you're a metalhead. So it was interesting to see that happen to like a book, just because of some artwork. I kind of remember some protests of like religious extremist groups and stuff like that back when Harry Potter first started coming out, but I don't remember anything about these books in particular. And I definitely used to read them as a kid. So yeah, the documentary, like, see, that's the other thing, is because of that stuff, it was kind of hard to follow and like be able to describe it in continuity or have like specific tidbits to tell you, like, because it was just like a lot. It talked to the author's son a lot. Talked about, because the author has passed away, so they talked to his son a lot about him, and they talked to one of the people that was trying to get the book taken off the shelves, or at least elementary. They were trying to get it taken out of elementary school libraries specifically. That's it. They weren't trying to get it burned. They weren't trying to take it out of bookstores and all that. They're just out of the elementary school library. And yeah, there was R.L. Stine was in it, which was pretty cool. The author of the Goosebumps books, which I also really enjoyed as a kid. So it was a pretty interesting look into that guy, the author's life, and kind of like the cultural impact behind what those books were. It was actually, it was a good documentary. I'd say definitely check it out. It's now on all video on demand streaming services, so Amazon, iTunes, and everything else. I checked it out on Amazon, so I think it was like a $3.99 rental, no big deal. So definitely, that's something. If those books interested you, if you read those books when you were growing up like I did, I think you might be interested in this. At least worth checking out for sure, to just kind of know some of the history and the story behind those books. Scary stories to tell in the dark. And now I guess kind of on to the last thing, I guess. On Saturday, my friend Matt and I, we went to a show in Flint at the Machine Shop. If you were there, hopefully you saw us. We went and saw Images of Eden, I believe was the opener. And then they opened for Metal Church, who opened for Doro. From formerly of Warlock, Metal Queen, and so it was at the Machine Shop in Flint, like I said, one of my all-time favorite venues. And this time, we actually had some fucking stickers to hand out. So if you were there, hopefully you were able to get a sticker. I left a bunch on the outside tables, and I handed out a lot to the staff and stuff. If you don't follow the Machine Shop on Instagram, and you live in Michigan and go to shows there, especially if you go to shows there, follow them on Instagram. Like I met the lady that does their Instagram, and I gave her some stickers. She was very, very nice, super cool, and I just had to tell her that I love what they've done with the Instagram, because it has essentially made me feel like I like know some of the people. You know what I mean? You see them every day on the Instagram, and then you actually go to shows there, and you're like, oh fuck, all those people are actually here that I see every day on my phone. Like, I'll fucking say hi, give them a stick. You know what I mean? Like, it changes the feel of the place in a sense, and like makes you want to go back there more. I really like what she's done with it. I had to tell her, and I think more venues should take a note of that, because it really makes it like a really like a different atmosphere. A really great venue. I absolutely, one of my all-time favorites. So yeah, Images of Eden we watched. Pretty good. I'd never heard of them. Full disclosure. Okay, so full disclosure, I went to the show. Matt really wanted to go, so I was like, fuck yeah, all right, $20 or whatever, I'll buy a ticket. Now, of course, I've heard plenty of Metal Church and Doro songs, but could I have named you any? Not really. But I knew these bands, I knew they were legends, and I used to watch their videos all the time back in the mid-2000s on late night on VH1's Metal Mania. VH1 Classics Metal Mania, where they showed a whole bunch of heavy metal music videos from the 80s and stuff. So I had seen lots of Metal Church and Doro stuff back then, but I never owned any albums or anything like that. So Metal Church comes, and they fucking they did a really good job. They did a really impressive show. It was a very live show. I really enjoyed watching them. Nothing they played did I ever like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Nothing triggered my memory or anything like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed seeing them, and it was a really great show. Fuck. All right, so yeah, I'm actually going to backtrack real quick. Sorry. So when we get there, okay, so one thing that we were actually really excited about on this tour was Chris Caffrey. For those of you who don't know who Chris Caffrey is, he is the frontman, you could say, also like lead guitarist of the East Coast tour of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra every year. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra is very large, and they split up into two groups and do an East and West Coast winter tour every year. Chris Caffrey has always been, or as long as I've been going, for the last like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-ish years. Ever since I've been going, he has been basically like the front man of the East Coast's group. He's also from Savatage and a whole bunch of other like metal stuff. Fucking awesome guitarist, and I've always loved seeing him with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Matt and I found out that he was actually filling in for a guitarist with Doro on this tour. So we were fucking blown away that we were finally going to get to see Chris fucking Caffrey on a much smaller stage in a much more intimate setting. So we get to the machine shop. We get there pretty early, and we're standing in line to get in. And the line's just out in the parking lot. And this is a very, very, very small venue for anyone who's never been there. It's very, very small. And the parking lot is just one parking lot. The buses park there, and so do all the cars. So if any of the bands go outside and hang out outside, they're like in the parking lot. So me and Matt are standing there, and from a distance, I point over and I go, "Is that Chris Caffrey?" And kind of as a joke. Because there's just a guy like off in the distance with long blonde hair, and like as soon as he turned around, I could tell it wasn't him. But Matt was like, "Oh, I think it's him," but he kept walking closer, and then like it definitely wasn't him. And we kind of like laughed, and we were like, "Oh, whatever." And then I swear to God, like less than 3 minutes later, I look up again, and there's a different guy, and I was like, "Oh my God, that actually is Chris fucking Caffrey." And he started walking like up towards like, you know, closer to where we were and stuff. And we're like, oh my God, that's no 100%. It was Chris Caffrey. And someone like behind us yelled, "Hey, Chris." And like he looked right over at us, and I like gave him the horns and a head nod. He beelines straight to Matt and I and hands us both fucking guitar picks. He's like, "You guys want some picks?" We're like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." Like, holy shit, are you fucking kidding me? We just met Chris fucking Caffrey, and he gave us a... Oh, my God, dude. I was fucking shook. it blew my mind. Like, I've seen this guy for like 12, 13 years now play only in like the biggest of venues this state has to offer, and another state. I've seen them in one other state actually, and he just fucking was super cool. He was even wearing a Trans-Siberian shirt, and he like walked up to us and just gave us a fucking pic. The pic says Trans-Siberian Orchestra on it and everything. Yeah, man, like, he was super cool, and it just, yeah, that was a fucking, so to kick the whole night off, that was a crazy fucking experience that just absolutely blew our minds. So, yeah, love Chris Caffrey, huge shout out. And then, yeah, so Metal Church played, they were fucking great, and then fucking Doro comes out. Now, immediately, it was surreal. Like, immediately it was surreal actually seeing that, like, she's an icon. Like, she is iconic to me. And actually seeing her in person, standing there on a stage, unbelievable. And then they start playing. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. And then they start playing songs that I fucking recognized. I was like, holy shit, I know Doro songs. And they covered like Breaking the Law. They played all their hits, like a handful. I don't know their names, but like a handful of them I was singing along to, definitely recognized. Blew me away. They absolutely killed it. Chris Caffrey up there with her, fucking dominating on the guitar. Like, it was fucking an unbelievable show. They did an amazing. I will see Doro anytime she comes back to Michigan after that. That was fucking fantastic. So if you never look, the time to see the people you see is when you get to see them. It's when they come. Always buy the ticket. You know what I mean? Like, you never know when it's gonna be your last chance to see them. So always fucking buy the ticket to anyone you ever want to go see. Like, it's so fucking. And I'm so glad I did that one. So, yeah, it was fucking outstanding. An outstanding show. And yeah, the venue was great. I put up some stickers. I left some stickers around. Hopefully, if you got one, give us a shout out. Let us know in the comments below, or a comment on Instagram or Facebook or anything. We would love to hear from you. And also, heads up, the next show we will be at is in a couple weeks here. It's the Sunday, May 19th, I believe. It's a Slayer show with Lamb of God, Amon Amarth, and Cannibal Corpse. Unbelievable. It's going to be fucking insane. We are so excited for that. All of us are actually going to be there, and we're definitely going to be handing out stickers at that one too. So if you're going to be there, let us know, and we'll try to find you and get you a sticker. But yeah, that's honestly, that's about it for me tonight. That's about all I got for you. It's kind of a short episode, but that's all right. Hopefully you enjoyed, and like I said, we will be back again very soon, hopefully with some guests. And I got another heavy metal folklore episode up my sleeve. I'm probably gonna start working on this weekend to get out sometime next week. So looking forward to that. Other than that, be sure to like and follow and subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, and YouTube, and leave a review and all that fun stuff if you feel so inclined. But yeah, that's about it from me tonight. I hope you enjoyed getting lost with us in the crypt. And yeah, I love you all to death. Good night.